A day in the life of an emergency room nurse. Most people step into a hospital only when they have to, for fear, for injury, for desperation. But for an emergency room nurse, this is home, a place where life hangs on thin threads, where seconds matter, where everything can change with a single shout from down the hall. This is a day in the life of an emergency room nurse, a life lived at the edge of chaos. 5 a.m. Before the chaos. While most of the city sleeps, an ER nurse begins preparing for another 12-hour shift. Not with calm, but with quiet resilience. Coffee brews. A uniform is folded with practiced discipline. Shoes, dependable, worn, ready. Wait by the door, because in a few hours, these shoes will carry them through blood, tears, and miracles. They stretch their shoulders, crack their neck, breathe deeply. Today could be calm. Today could be catastrophic. And they have to be ready for either. 6:30 a.m. Walking into the unknown. An ER nurse walks into the hospital the same way a firefighter walks into smoke. With purpose, not fear. The moment they step through the doors, familiar sounds hit them. The beep of a heart monitor, the hiss of oxygen tanks, a patient groaning, a radio crackling with ambulance dispatch, footsteps rushing somewhere urgent. This is the soundtrack of their life. They clock in, tie their hair back, sanitize their hands for the 100th time. The first of thousands today. 6:45 a.m. The handover. They listen to the overnight nurse. A stroke patient in bed. 3. A child with breathing issues in room 6. A trauma case expected soon. 2 psychiatric patients needing observation and a waiting room already overflowing. The night shift's eyes say everything. This was a rough one, but there's no easing into it. No warm-up lap. The ER is already on fire. 7 a.m. First patient. A man clutches his chest, pale, sweating. The nurse rushes to him, voice calm, movements fast. Nurse, sir, stay with me. Tell me your name. A suspected heart attack. The kind of case where every second is a countdown. They attach EKG leads, check vitals, call for a doctor, draw blood, push meds, hands steady, heart steady, mind racing through protocols. Within minutes, the man is stable. One crisis down, countless more ahead. 8:30 a.m. The waiting room waves, the doors slide open again, and again, and again. Children, elderly, people from accidents, people scared, people crying, people hiding pain behind forced smiles. And the triage nurse sorts it all. Who waits? Who goes straight in? Who's in immediate danger? Some people call them heroes, but in this moment they feel more like traffic controllers for human suffering. 9:10 a.m. The first crash of the day. Trauma team to Bay 1. Trauma team to Bay 1. A woman is rushed in after a car accident. Blood on her face, leg twisted unnaturally, her breathing shallow. The nurse meets the paramedics mid-stride. Paramedic, female, late 20s, unconscious, hypotensive, possible internal bleeding. There's no time to think, only to act. Gloves snap, IV inserted, fluids running, vitals dropping, a doctor shouting orders. The nurse stabilizes her as the team prepares for imaging, surgery, whatever it takes. In less than 3 minutes, they've gone from a heartbeat away from death to a fighting chance. This is the job. 10:50 a.m. The silent moment. Between emergencies, the ER nurse grabs a sip of lukewarm coffee. The same cup reheated 3 times already. They stand by a window for 10 seconds of stillness, watching people in the parking lot living their ordinary lives. It's surreal. This thin wall separating normal life from the world where tragedy is routine. And then, the radio crackles again. Break time is over. 11:30 a.m. A different kind of emergency security escorts a patient in. Disoriented, agitated, panicked. Mental health cases require a different kind of strength. Emotional armor. The patient trembles, screams, then suddenly collapses into tears. The nurse sits with them, grounding them back to reality. Not every wound is visible. Not every crisis has blood, but every one of them demands compassion. 12:45 p.m. No lunch today. The ER is overflowing. Stretchers in hallways, families anxiously waiting, doctors running between rooms. The nurse opens their lunch, takes one bite, hears a monitor alarm. Back to work. 1:20 p.m. Code blue. A monitor screams from room 4. A child, not breathing. The nurse sprints, legs moving before their mind even catches up. CPR begins instantly. Chest compressions, airway support. Another nurse pushes meds. The doctor takes over compressions. The room feels frozen and frantic at once. In these moments, you don't think, you don't fear, you don't hope, you act. And then, the faintest sound, a gasp. The child is breathing again. The nurse steps back, chest heaving from adrenaline. But there's no time to process the miracle. Another patient needs them. 3 p.m. The family that breaks your heart. A woman arrives with her elderly father, barely conscious, oxygen low, skin cold. The nurse rushes him to a bed, starts supplements, calls for respiratory support. The daughter holds his hand, voice shaking. "Daughter, please, please help him." The nurse squeezes her shoulder gently. "Nurse, I won't leave him." And they don't, not for 1 second. The old man stabilizes slowly, painfully. Tears fall from the daughter's face. ER nurses don't just treat patients. They hold entire families together. One kind word at a time. 4:45 p.m. The unexpected calm. For the first time all day, the hallway feels quiet. The nurse sits, finally, not because they have time, but because their legs simply give out. They scroll through their phone, pictures of their kids, their partner, a pet waiting at home. A reminder of why they endure days like this. But calm in the ER never lasts long. 5:30 p.m. Another wave hits a factory accident. 3 injured, all arriving at once. The nurse takes charge, assigns beds, coordinates with doctors, prepares equipment, assesses bleeding, delegates tasks, keeps everyone alive. Leadership isn't a title in the ER. It's instinct, it's necessity, it's survival. 6:50 p.m. The final emotion of the day. A patient the nurse has been caring for all afternoon grips their hand before being taken to surgery. Patient, thank you for not giving up on me. It hits harder than expected. The exhaustion, the fear, the relief. In this place of chaos, small words can break you or heal you. 7 p.m., end of shift, but not end of burden. They give handover to the night shift. Their voice trembles slightly from fatigue but remains sharp and professional. They peel off gloves, remove their mask, rub their eyes. 12 hours of emotional weight pressing down at once. Most people clock out and leave work behind. ER nurses carry their shift home. The faces, the voices, the emergencies that didn't leave them. But they'll be back tomorrow. Because saving lives isn't just a job. It's a calling, a promise, a purpose. 8 p.m. Home. They shower, washing off blood, sweat, fear, sadness. But some things, no shower removes. They sit at the table, eat quietly, stare into space. No one truly understands what an ER nurse goes through. Not fully, not truly. But they keep going, because if they don't, who will? Today was just one day, one shift, one storm inside a hospital filled with countless storms. Emergency room nurses fight battles most of us never see, carry burdens most of us could never hold, and save lives that would be lost without them. If you want more powerful, emotional, and real daily life of professionals from the front lines of our world, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and stay with us. More stories are waiting in the shadows.